Hey everybody, Preston Poulter here with Pocket Jacks Comics, and this just in from the Diamond Retailer Summit. Mark Waid committed a tortious battery against a attendee who was a retailer apparently, although Mr. Waid claims, well, you don't even have a store anymore, therefore he gets to tortiously batter. What do I mean by tortious batter? Well, it's funny you should ask that. A tortious battery is a harmful or offensive touching without consent or privilege. I know that because I'm freaking studying, but anyway, as opposed to a criminal battery, which tends to be more of an unlawful application of force, a tortious battery in this case was Mr. Waid threw a comic book at the person that was in the booth. Harmful or offensive, so not exactly damaging, but at the same time, there is some legal liability there. I mean, if I did that, I would probably be asked to leave the comic book show. I probably would not get a refund for my booth, and I most likely would not be able to vend at any future cons by that same organizer. And if word got out, I might be barred totally. Mr. Waid, on the other hand, in the booth. So here, all right, let me give you the backstory here. Mark Waid was there promoting his new book with Kwanzaa Osejefo, I believe that's his name. Ignited. What is the premise of Ignited?
By myself, Kwanzaa
Let's hear him tell it.
And Phil Briones. And it's about what happens when 6 survivors of a high school shooting are given the power to push back forcefully against the kind of people who let these kinds of tragedies occur.
So they get to push back forcefully against the people who let this happen. Notice, he didn't say against the people who perpetrated it. I'm going to assume the people who perpetrated it, if the comic book universe Mr. Waid is creating is anything like the universe outside, the people who actually did the shooting, I'm going to assume, are probably dead. But oh no, the people who let this happen, well, who would that be? I don't know who was on Mr. Waid's missionary wish list of these people deserve violence, but we're going to find out. I will be reviewing that comic book, I promise. I've been waiting here with bated breath, oh boy. I mean, Little Bird has some style to it. I'm sure this is going to be social justice porn squared. Why? Because all about visiting violence on the bad people, which all systems of morality basically allow. That's the appeal. Going back to a quote I absolutely love by Aldous Huxley, moral systems are there. And you can read the quote. People want, in good conscience, to be able to say horrible things should happen to other groups of people. They love that. And Mr. Waid is a perfect example. He's promoting work by which people get superpowers and push back forcefully against other groups of people that let this. So, okay, these people let the school shootings happen, therefore they deserve what they get. Okay, drill down the logic. Mr. Waid is basically saying that his political opponents are allowing school shootings and therefore deserve to be assaulted, battered by superpowered people, much like the last story I was talking about, where Captain Marvel roughs up and steals the motorcycle from somebody who was being a bit obnoxious. You notice that the same side is advocating consistently the same actions of, because these people are behaving in a way I don't like, they will, in their mind, take it to a higher level and go, they are participating in an oppressive system and are therefore creating injustice, which I have a license to stop through force. So, anyway, while Mr. Waid was at this summit, the Diamond Retailer Summit, he is giving this speech about how Humanoid has these books, they're available, they're wonderful, they're all about compassion, and then apparently as he's coming off the stage, he points to the woman who is the sales rep and points to the guy, Dennis, and says, that there is one of those garbage humans I was telling you about. Notice we have labeled certain people as garbage people, and these garbage people deserve to be non-personed. And so later, Dennis, and Bit of a jerk move on Dennis's part to visit Mr. Waid at his booth, but he does. And Mr. Waid refuses to speak to him. And now Dennis is like, hey, I buy your books. I am a retailer. And Mr. Waid's like, we don't want to do business with you. Get out of the booth. I refuse to talk to you. And picks up a comic book and throws it at him, which, again, on any law school exam is a tortious battery, which has some legal liability attached to it. I'm sure he'll probably just get a pass. He's Mark Waid after all. But, well, I am noticing a continuing trend of people who are out there. And I'm not even talking about the black mask Antifa people now. Now I'm talking about just like your armchair progressives who are out there promoting social justice going, these people deserve violence. So in this case, I'm specifically talking about Mr. Waid and the violence he is promoting both in his artwork and in his personal interactions. So I'm going to guess there will probably be absolutely no repercussions. In fact, I will go as far as to predict he will be lauded for this by his social justice allies. It remains to be seen. Meanwhile, I am conducting a Kickstarter right now for my comic book about the deadliest female fighter pilot who ever lived. It's called White Lily. It's got 3 days left up on Kickstarter. There's a link for that down in the description. Thank you very much for your time. Take care.